What's up, Jet Nation? Greenbean here. I am going to be bringing you the first of a brand new series of player profiles for you. We're going to go through a few of our Jets players. Most of them will be either free agents this year or free agents next year, seeing what they have and if they're worth retaining. The first, and what this video is going to be about, is a wide receiver by the name of Vyncint Smith. Interesting spelling of his name, V-Y-N-C-I-N-T. Vincent. Creative parents, I like that. So we got Vincent Smith. He is a 6'3" wide receiver, 202 pounds, and we saw a little bit of his big playability last year. He had one rushing touchdown, and he had a couple big plays for us later in the season. We saw that he could be somebody that we can get a little bit more in the mix for us. The big question with Vincent Smith, from the way I see it, is this guy capable of assuming the Robbie Anderson role? As we know, Robbie Anderson is looking for a big contract this year, probably in the area of anywhere from $10 to $14 million a year. The truth, I would be willing to pay 10, 11, 12. If he's coming back saying, hey, the Raiders are offering me $14 million, I might have to say, hey, I wish you well, buddy. It's gonna be fun out there in Las Vegas. Enjoy your time. But can we let Robbie Anderson go? Is it worth paying him $14 million? Let's say $11 million for the sake of argument. So we're gonna have an $11 million Robbie Anderson, and we have Vincent Smith, who is gonna count about $660,000 against the cap. Just to rehash a little bit of who Vincent Smith is, he's the wide receiver that we plucked off the Texans practice squad last year. He signed a 3-year deal with the Texans, and made a big player too. Deshaun Watson was actually getting comfortable with him, but they did waive him. They tried to stash him on the practice squad, and in late September of last year, the Jets went down there and poached him. So we got Vincent Smith. Now, Vincent Smith, like I said, is 6'3". He is 202 pounds. He has run a 4.3 40 before. I think it was a 4.36, but I think he also had a 4.43. So he's a fast guy. Robbie Anderson ran a 4.36 40. So they're pretty comparable on the speed, on their speed. Now on the size, they're both 6'3". Like I said, Robbie Anderson's a little bit faster, but Vincent Smith is about 12, 13 pounds heavier, a little bit more of a stocky build. I don't know if I'd call it stocky, but he's a little bit more substantial of a build for Vincent Smith. So do we believe that this undrafted free agent can develop in the same way that Robbie Anderson has for the past few years and become one of the probably the most sought after free agents in the wide receiver group this year? So we have an undrafted free agent in Robbie Anderson. He made it all the way to where he is now. Great player. Very fast, deep threat, and has expanded his route tree. Vincent Smith has a little bit more in the ability, just coming into the league, a little bit more established of his route tree, but is also a burner, man. He can be a deep threat, just like Robbie Anderson has been for us. And with Hines Ward and Jefferson as our coaches, do they think that this guy can assume the role of Robbie Anderson? $14 million, $11 million, whatever it was, against $660,000. Do we let Robbie Anderson go, gain that money that we can use for offensive linemen, even other wide receivers? We probably get 2 or 3 very, very good guys for that $11 million. And then Vincent Smith assumes the role for less than $1 million. And then next year we can deal with whatever Vincent Smith has to, requires. But I don't see it being 10, 11, 12, 13, $14 million. That's for sure. So what do you think? Do we let Robbie Anderson walk because we have Vincent Smith in the mix here? I wonder. I wonder if that's what we're going to do. I bet that they're thinking about it right now. So what do you think? Come on down to jetnation.com. Click on forums. We're in there talking about it. There's been quite the conversation about Robbie Anderson, but I'd like to see what everybody thinks about Vincent Smith. He did have one touchdown, but it was a rushing touchdown. He had, let's see, I think he had 17 receptions for 225 yards. Certainly no, we're not talking about the most elaborate resume, but he's got some ability. So what do we think? Is this going to be our next Robbie Anderson? Do we let that guy go, a la the Patriots and Steelers and all those teams? Let him go when he wants the big money and groom this next kid coming on up. He's hungry. He came from a small Division II school. What was it called? Limestone. I think it was called Limestone College. So what do you think? I want to hear what you guys have to think. Comment below. Let us know in the forums, jetnation.com. Go Jets.